Yeah, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to look at for loop in C. The last class we did while loop variation. We've done while loop. So this is for loop. Now, what is a for loop? A for loop is a program construct that allows you to repeat a block of code a specific number of times. Meaning, if you know the number of iteration, it is better to use a for loop. So I want to repeat something 5 times. I already know it's 5 times. So I'm going to use a for loop to do that, right? Now, to write the syntax for a for loop is, I told you that there are 3 components required for a loop. And the first one is what? Initialization, right? Initialization. Initialization. The second one is condition. And the third one is what? Update, which is either increment or decrement, right? Now, if I'm going to write the syntax for a for loop, that will simply be for, then here I will say init, then semicolon, then I have my condition, then another semicolon, then the update, either increment or decrement. Then I will do this. Inside here, I will write my statement, which is block of code or statement. Then I will close this. Now, this is the syntax for a for loop. So my init, my initialization, my condition, the update, either increment or decrement, then I have my block of code statement. Now, if I'm going to draw the flow chart for this, let me draw it here. If I'm going to draw the flow chart for this, I will do something like this. This will be for the initialization, init. Then I will have my condition tested. So this is the condition. This is the condition. Now, if the condition is true, I will do the statement. Code block, right? Then I will do my increment. Update, which is what? Increment or decrement. Then I will come this way. So this one. Now, if the condition is false, I will come here and I will go out. So this. So if the condition is false, if the condition is true, right? This is my flow chart. So what happened? First, I will initialize, then I will test the condition. If the condition is true, I will execute my block of code. Then I will come back to the increment, right? That is it. So condition is tested. If it is true, execute block of code, then update either increment or decrement. Then you come back again and test the condition. If it is true, you continue that way. If it is false, then you go out of this. So let's write a very simple program to illustrate the for loop. All right. Okay. So I am going to write a simple program. First thing I will say, include stdio, standard input output header. Then int main, I'm always going to return a value. That's why I'm using the int integer. I'm doing it inside the integer realm. I can use void if I don't want to. So I will do this. Then inside here, I will declare a variable int a, and I will assign a value to it. Then I will say for. Now, in this place, I, in this one, I am not going to initialize. So I'm just going to declare a variable a. So inside this place, I'm going to initialize my a to 0. Then I'll put this. This is very compulsory. You have to put it. Now, when we did the while loop, and I also wrote the while loop in this format, where I said while, then I say a assign 0. It was the comma operator that I used. Then I say a less than 5. Now, this is different. You can see this is an operator that I'm using to control this guy and control this guy. Now, this was a form of a while loop. But in the case of a for loop, I am always mandatorily, I'm going to have this here. These are optional. I can leave this place blank. That I will show you when I'm teaching you for loop variation. So this is the standard for loop. So this is assign A to this. Then the condition, I'm going to say A less than 5. Then I'll do this again. Then I will put my A plus plus, which is the increment. Then I will do this. So inside here, I'll say print F. I will do this percentage T slash N, then comma, the value of A. Then I'll do this, right? Then I'm going to close my curly bracket. So this is my for loop. Now, how does this loop work? First, I have declared the variable A. Now, inside the for loop, I'm initializing it by assigning 0 to it. Then I'll test the condition. A is less than 5. 0 is less than 5. That is true. It won't come here. It will enter inside. Remember the flow chart. The block of code will be executed first before the increment. So it's going to print out A and it will print out 0. Then it will come here and it will increment A. So I have same thing. So I have A. I initialize the A to what? 0. So this place is 0. Then to test the condition, A is less than 5. That is true. It will come in and it will print F. It will print out A. So it will print out 0 on the screen. Then it will come back here and increment A. So A will increase to 1. Then it will check the condition. 1 is less than 5. That is true. It will come in and it will print out A, which is what? 1. Then it will increment A to what? 2. So it will do that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it will increment A to 5. So when A is now 5, it will check the condition. 5 less than 5, that is no longer true, right? Then it will come out of this loop to whatever statement is here. Do you understand? So in this case now, it's going to print out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what? 5 iterations. So 5 iterations. 5 iterations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will give us 0 to what? 4 on the screen. So a for loop is used for when you know the number of times you are going to do the repetition. So you can use a while loop to achieve this output, which is what I did in our previous classes. Or you can use a for loop. Because I already know a number of iterations, so I'm going to use the for loop. So let's go to code blocks, and then let me demonstrate this for you to see. This is our code block, and this is our program for loop. As you can see, I have this. On the board, I didn't use the return. So it's still going to give you a correct output because by default it's returning 0, meaning I have successfully completed the code. So I have include stdio.h int main, then you are declaring a variable a. So this is the for loop. You initialize it inside the for loop. Then you have a less than 5, and then you increment, then you go in and carry out this block of code. So let's execute it and see what it's going to give to us. So see what is given: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is the output. Now, the last class, we also use a while loop to achieve this same output. So that is just what I'm telling you. You can use a while loop, you can use a for loop, you can use a do while loop. But when you know the number of iterations that are going to work on, it is always better to use a for loop. So this is what I want to show you in this class. Till we see in the next class. Bye-bye.